Welcome back to C.O.G Music. I'm Steve, and this is going to be a continuation of the series of practice videos that I plan on making. I did one, went over some scales that I use and remember from way back when, being taught that that was a good way to warm up and stretch out my fingers and the muscles in my hand. So very quickly, just to repeat, so that's what I do. I repeat that a few times, get the fingers stretched out and going. One of the other things I do, I didn't go over it in the first video, is some alternate picking of those same scales. You start with the higher note on each string. You get the idea. It's that picking pattern all the way up the exact same scales, back down through the same scales. Don't work on speed. Go slow. Work on getting the right notes. That third one is, the really stretched out one, but I go through that. The other thing I didn't go through in the first video, is this. That picking pattern, starting at the 3rd fret on the low E string, going up to the 7th fret with my middle finger on the A string, and on the D string, using my pinky on the 7th fret. And that repeats as you move over to start the first note on the 5th string. Repeat that pattern. 5th fret with the middle finger, but this time you're going to go up an extra fret. When you get to the B string, you're going to skip the 7th fret and stretch up to the 8th fret. Then, staying on the 3rd fret, on the G string with your index finger, you're going to go up with your ring finger to the 6th fret, and 8th fret with your pinky on the high E string. And that's, again, you get to those two higher strings and you're really stretching out your fingers. I'm really feeling it, but slowly I'm going to go through it and I'm going to come back down after ascending. That's a good warm-up exercise as well. And then you want to move around, go up a couple of frets, start off at the 5th fret. That's what I do. Do the exact same exercise, just using a different fret. But that's pretty much what I go through my entire warm-up process. What I want to get into is now moving on to playing chords. And what this is a book that has been the foundation of everything I've ever done learning to play songs. It is the Mel Bay Children's Guitar Chord Book. I prefer to get rid of that word, children's, and use beginners. Beginner's Guitar Chord Book. It is a great book. It starts out showing how to play easy versions of a few chords. The first one that shows is the C chord with the index finger on the B string at the 1st fret, and it says to play only the top 3 strings. Now from this point on, when I opened up the book and started working on familiarizing myself with everything that was in this once again, it kind of clicked right away. I kind of remembered, I know the fingering to a full C chord. And I prefer to play that rather than this EZ chord. If you're just starting out, this is by far simpler, and by all means, play it this way. Later in the book, it will show how to play a full C chord. But from this point on, that's what I'm going to be doing versus these EZ chord versions. C chord. Now, the next page, they go into this easy G7 chord, which is the index finger on the 1st fret on the high E string, playing the top 4 strings. Easy C, easy G7. Once again, the full G7 chord I'm familiar with how to play. And that's what I'm going to be doing from this point on. But it goes down into this exercise at the bottom of the page. And each one of these marks, it's 4/4 time, 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 2, 3, 4, 3, 2, 3, 4. But those are downward strumming patterns. That would be one measure, 4 beats. And then it goes C, G7, C. Easy G chord. Ring finger, high E string, 3rd fret, playing the top 4 strings. So now it's gone over the easy C chord, easy G7, and easy G. Again, I know the full G chord, so that's what I'm going to play. But strumming through the exercise at the bottom of this page, we have C, G, G7, with just these three easy chords, if you're doing the easy chords or the full chords, regardless, what you want to get into the practice of doing is looking ahead before completing your fourth strum, like in regards to this first exercise, C, G7, C. Before I get to the end of my 4 strums of the C chord, I want to be looking ahead to see what chord is coming next and thinking about how to play that chord. And continue that way of thinking into the next exercise and every exercise from this point on. That's what you want to be working on, as well as how to play the chord. When you get into these exercises, you want to be looking ahead and thinking ahead to what is going to be played next after what I'm currently playing. C, G7, C. See, and I'm trying to audibly say what is coming next before I get to the end of what I'm currently playing. And I'm going to do the same with the next thing. C, G, G7, C. Now what I was doing there was muting the strings after doing a strum instead of a full open strumming pattern. I'm coming back and pressing down on the strings with the side of my palm of my right hand. That's something you can also play around with. Alternate. So there's lots of things you can do and change up and vary within these exercises and one chord to the other. How you're strumming, whether you're muting or not muting the strings, but you definitely, again, want to be working on looking at what's coming next and how to play what's coming next. Let's go on to another page. This is a D7 chord, and this is not an easy version of a chord. Index finger on the B string, 1st fret, middle finger on the G string of the 2nd fret, ring finger on the high E string, 2nd fret. Kind of makes this triangle shape. And I'm going to go directly, I'm going to jump this exercise and go to the next page where they're showing you a full D chord, where you can see it's an upside down triangle pattern with the index finger on the G string on the 2nd fret, the middle finger on the high E string, 2nd fret, and your ring finger on the B string, 3rd fret. Now if you go back to the D7 chord, D, D7, there's a very subtle difference, but it's definitely there, and you can see how these two chords really complement each other. But Practice playing the chord until you feel comfortable going down to the exercise where we go from C, 4 strum pattern, D7, G, G7, C. And then moving over to the exercise that goes with the D chord, 4 strum pattern, C, D, D7, G, G7, C. So, quite a few chords up to this point already. Let's stop there, and I'm going to continue on playing the rest of the stuff in the book, which I may very quickly go over in the next video, but really concentrate on the fingering of the chord, the strumming pattern, how to vary the strumming pattern, how to vary an open strum, a muted strum, or muting right after playing a particular chord, and really working on, in these exercises at the bottom of each page, looking at what's coming next and how to play what's coming next before you get there. Okay, and then we'll pick it up on the next one. Thanks for stopping by, checking out the video, and hopefully if you're going along with me and practicing, it's paying off some dividends at this point, I hope. Easy. Hey, remember, have fun, and you can do it.